Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Maroon Bell, the Pop boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Maroon Bell, the Pop boxing gloves. I got mine in this vintage brown and white colorway, 12 ounces. It is a Velcro closure only model. You can get this anywhere between 10 and 16 ounces. And aside from this brown and white colorway, you can also get it with the main color of the glove being white and the Velcro strap being brown. So you're basically reversing the colors. The glove is made of what they describe on the website as full grain buffalo leather, although it seems pretty much the same and similar to a lot of the other Pakistan made gloves in terms of the type of leather they use on this, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail here in a second. It uses 3 layers of foam padding, so multi-layer foam that has a medium to firm consistency to it. So it's not extremely soft, nor is it too stiff or firm. So it feels pretty well balanced. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. And the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, Maroon Bell, if you're wondering who this company is, if you've never heard of them, it's because Maroon Bell is an actual more or less like an outdoor apparel and gear company. The boxing gloves are actually a tribute to the owner's great grandfather, who was a seasoned fighter in Denver, Colorado. And that's hence the name, the Pop, was named after the owner or the founder's great grandfather. And again, also with the color and the scheme of the glove, it has that old school vintage look to it. And I do like the fact that they integrated the white into the Velcro strap. I don't think I've ever had a pair of vintage brown leather gloves that had any type of white on it, but now that I have these and seeing them in person, it actually works out really nicely. It's a very unique look with the brown and the white. Typically with these vintage style gloves, it's usually all brown. You might have a little bit of black on it, but it's typically one solid color. And I think the white actually looks pretty clean. You do have some black piping there to give you a little bit of offset between the colors to divide it up, but I think it actually looks pretty sharp with the white on the Velcro strap. Now, from a design standpoint, when you're looking at this, for a 12-ounce glove, I'd say it's pretty much on par as far as profile and size of what you would expect for a 12-ounce glove. But what I mean by that is it's not overly huge and it's not too compact. So it's true to size in that sense for a 12-ounce glove, which I do like. You can see that the only designation in terms of branding for this glove, which is kind of hard to see with the naked eye, is that it's actually embossed into the Velcro leather strap on the back where it says MB Maroon Bell and kind of like a cursive writing, but that's really it. So I do like that. It does look really clean, gives it a very kind of rich touch to it. You know, gloves like these, you have other brands like Modi's Vintage Player. I did a review on those a while back. Kind of give you that old school look and feel for those of you that prefer that style of glove. The leather on here has kind of I would say a step above satin, maybe like a semi-gloss finish. And you can see it looks really good. Again, no logos on the glove. You do have a 3.5-inch Velcro strap again. With that white leather, the white on here also has more of a satin finish. It doesn't seem to be as shiny as the brown leather. You have this shimmering gold weight tag that says 12 ounces on that. Open up the Velcro strap. The Velcro on here is very grippy. That's one thing I also notice is the quality of the Velcro on here is top notch. I mean, it really grips on tightly on both the female and the male end of the Velcro. But you have that full Velcro strap with the black piping around it, and show you guys both sides right there. Double stitching on the palm side. You do have the elastic piece that goes in the middle that keeps everything together. The inside has a smooth tricot style liner with about, I'd say, 1/2 inch of medium density padding on the back of the wrist, and maybe about 1 inch of medium density padding on the inside of the wrist. That kind of comes up to this side and then rolls up onto the palm. So you have it kind of leak into this palm area in terms of padding. The grip bar in here is large and has a good amount of firmness to it. And you also have a leather attached thumb and no ventilated holes on the palm or on the thumb. So just to show you guys kind of a close-up of the leather, give you guys a visual. You don't have a seam. Sometimes if glove models have a different color scheme, you'll see a split between the thumb and the back of the glove or the hand compartment because they will change the color of the leather. In this example, this is all one solid piece, and they keep that nice. So you don't actually have a piece of stitching here that you have to worry about, which I do like with that. As far as the quality of these gloves go, they're pretty good. Weight-wise, they're almost on point with weight. They were both a little underweight. I believe the left glove was at 11.9 and the right glove was at 11.7. So they're here underweight, but not by much. The leather on here is really nice. One thing, when you do go on their website and you kind of read the description, they say that they use, you know, fourth generation artisans from Pakistan, and it's very like descriptive in the way they go about it. And oftentimes when I see companies do that, where they really, I like the backstory, but when they start to really get into this whole technical part aspect of it, where they use buffalo leather instead of traditional cowhide leather, and you know, they're using fourth generation artisans and etc. You know, it kind of raises your expectations because you're like, you're like, oh wow, they're kind of stepping the game up compared to other brands that I've used before. And in this case, to be honest with you, I mean, the leather pretty much feels the same as some other, you know, general Pakistan made gloves. I mean, it's not bad, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before. So, you know, in terms of the leather, it just kind of reminds me of something you would probably get from like Top Boxer, that kind of leather. And again, you know, the stitching on here, there's areas where, you know, it could definitely be done better, especially right there. You can see a piece of the thread's actually popping out. So again, if you're using fourth generation artisans and you're using all these special words in the description, then your product better follow through and be great. You know, you have stitching areas right here that to me was a main concern. The stitching symmetry looks really good, but again, here you can see another piece of thread or stitching that's kind of popping out a little bit. But in terms of like how straight it looks really good. The leather on here is really nice. The piping looks really clean. I do like that Velcro strap. The embossed lettering, the back looks really good. The glove itself is pretty well balanced. You don't have too much of, it's not too front loaded or too top heavy in that regard. So the distribution as weight is done very well. And the colors of it look really good. Inside liner, no issues there, no tearing, no bunching up in the finger compartment. So that's also good. So overall, looks really solid. The only area, again, is going to be the stitching right here. And on the inside on both gloves where the thumb meets the index finger could definitely be some improvement, and the glove being slightly underweight. Opening the gloves up and putting your hand in for the comfort. So the liner feels really good on the glove. Hand slides in nicely. The thumb, when I make a fist, positioning feels good as well. It is deep enough to where when you make a fist, you don't have to worry about the tip of the thumb collapsing down and jamming. The piping on the thumb is definitely a little bit on the tight side. I wish this piping was a little bit larger to accommodate my thumb. This is without hand wraps on, and when I put my hand wraps on, this is really tight on my thumb, and it's going to take a little bit of breaking in, so I might have to put a towel in here to loosen this up. But I definitely feel like this piping and the seam around this thumb can definitely be opened up a little bit more because it kind of pinches down. In terms of the actual foam and how broken in the glove feels, I'd say it's semi broken in. It's not extremely stiff, but it's not super soft as well. It's not like some gloves where you can just open and close your hand right away. It takes a little bit of breaking in. Grip bar position is really good. You also have a piece of neoprene that covers the stitching right here. And your finger kind of makes an imprint in it the more you use it. Finger compartment is nice and deep, so you have a nice amount of depth. Not too wide, not too narrow, so in terms of spacing between my fingers, it feels really good, and there's no empty voids on the interior of the glove. It feels really nice and soft. So overall, really comfortable, except for this thumb piping right there that is definitely on the tighter side. I would be definitely wary of that. I'm not sure if the 14 and the 16-ounce gloves have the same problem with that, but that would definitely be a concern of mine if I were to get these gloves all over again. Maybe try a 14 or 16 to see if that opens the glove up a little bit more. Protection and performance-wise, this is multi-layer foam, 3 layers of foam. I believe they also use EVA, and it does a really good job. It has a good amount of top protection, and you can see that the surface flattens out real nicely. You do land on your 2 front knuckles. So in terms of hand position, I really like that. And it's a good balanced glove. So if you were to get these in 16, you could definitely use these for sparring, hitting the bag, doing mid work, pretty much everything in the gym. And I'd say that the padding on here is very well balanced. Good amount of shock absorption right there in the middle in terms of the style of padding you're looking for. So if you're looking for something a little bit more punchier, softer, a little bit more broken in, then there's other gloves for that. If you need something that has max shock absorption with gel, this is definitely not that glove. I'd say it's right there in the middle in that regard. Cost-wise, these gloves are right at $159. So if we want to round up, they're about $160 for these gloves, which I think are definitely too high for this type of glove. To be honest with you, I think this is a pretty standard, maybe a step above a standard Pakistan-made glove that you would see from, you know, Top Boxer or you know, something from a higher-end title product. To me, I wouldn't pay more than $100 for something like this. Just my personal opinion from the gloves I've seen. You know, the quality on these are pretty solid except for the stitching. The thumb is too tight, in my opinion. I do like the colorways with the brown and the white, so that is definitely something it has going for it in terms of the colors. But there's nothing with this glove that I feel like I haven't really already seen. You know, if I'm gonna spend $160, you know, I would maybe go with like the title old school gloves, which are cheaper, and you're kind of getting the same quality product. You're just not paying for the name or for a certain look. Or I would even go with the Top Boxer gloves and go with just an all brown look if I could do it all over again. So, you know, definitely a solid glove, but nothing, you know, world changing, nothing that's, you know, mind blowing in that regard. I honestly was expecting a little bit more on just the way the gloves were being described on their website, and they kind of came in flat in my opinion. You know, they perform well, but again, just nothing too spectacular, nothing too bad, just kind of right in the middle of the road when it comes to these gloves. So pros wise with these gloves, I'd say the leather is very nice, the sizing is on point. I like the look of the gloves, the aesthetics, and I definitely like the padding. The cons are going to be the price. I think they're overpriced. The stitching can be improved, and the thumb is definitely too tight. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Maroon Bell boxing gloves, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.